The pages of Journey magazine are beautiful, filled with inspirational stories and happy faces. It's an uplifting magazine, bringing stories of hope for people with substance use disorder. Publisher Carolyn Delaney is in remission herself and willingly shares her story. Carolyn's own journey began in 1993 when she entered McAuley Residence in Portland. That's where she found housing and gained skills to embrace recovery. Carolyn, it is so good to be with you here today. And when we asked you to do this interview, you immediately chose McAuley Residence. Why did you choose this place?
There's nothing like McAuley in the country. And at the time, it didn't exist either for a woman like me to get her kids back in an environment that was safe, nurturing, that gave me the soil so that I could grow and thrive. And if it wasn't for McAuley, I wouldn't be here today.
Do you think a lot of people are afraid to go into a program like this? And what advice would you give them?
I wish there were 10 more McAuleys, because even the amazing program that's done here, it's really only for 15 mamas. Plus Bangor's got, I think, 12, but there's not a lot of opportunity available. So for the mamas that do get into McAuley Residence, please listen to me. Let them help you. Listen to everything they say. Do what you're told. Like, it's an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime. And it's really a very brave move, because you have to leave everything you know, everybody you know. You have to take guidance, and you have to trust. You have to trust that the people that run programs like this are really just focused on what's in your best interest.
When this happened, we're a very accomplished professional person. What do you tell other people about your substance abuse disorder?
What I find really helpful is the fact that I was a woman in recovery for a very long time in corporate. I ran large IT departments and call centers, and I was the liaison, like the connector between the C-suite and the programmers, so I sat in the middle. And I worked with people for decades that didn't know I was sober. And in 25 years of running large IT, I told 5 people. And that was only because they said something first. They said something that made me believe that they would be a safe person. And today, looking at that, I had to look at, like, why didn't I? You know, there was a lot of opportunity to say, I don't drink, I'm in recovery, but I never did. And I thought, and I know today it was because I knew that I would be judged differently. I ran departments of mostly men. I needed them to listen to me. I don't know how to say that really cool. But I needed people to value what I was doing. And I didn't think that they would if they knew that I had come out of a gutter in 1991.
Out of the gutter and on a path that changed her whole world in one day.
In 2017, I had a dream completely out of the blue about this newsletter that I had been a typesetter for. So I called Journey, and it was a newspaper that was done once a month, and it was really about the resources in town, where the AA meetings were, and talking about therapies and different modalities. And in 2017, I had a dream, and all I remember is the banner and the publisher's face, Bobby Hall, and I thought that was weird. And when I woke up and told my husband, well, that was weird. And I reached out to Facebook Land and asked some old timers about Journey, and somebody had a couple of copies. And I don't know if I knew it. I know I didn't know it then, but it really planted a seed, because his mission with the newsletter back in the day was to get a message out to people who were struggling. Like, here's where you can find help. And he was just a guy, you know, who couldn't afford CBS or Press Herald, or right, so he wasn't a journalist. So he was just a guy doing what he could with what he had. And then from that the seed was planted. And then I was asked to join a board for Portland Recovery Community Center, where I learned that there were other recovery programs, which I had no idea. As a woman, I'd been sober for 26 years, 27 years. And I found my solution, and I didn't need to keep looking. And I had no idea that there were other recovery programs.
Right, because you wallowed for many years before you found your recovery program.
Yes, and women that I worked with in my recovery program that didn't make it. I would have, if I had known, I would have said, try every one of them. Go down the list, I'll take you. Even if my path isn't your path, you deserve to live and to find your people. Let's try them, all of them. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And it broke my heart that more people don't know that there are so many resources and so many programs out there, and that people are needlessly dying because of the lack of visibility of those programs.
That's why this magazine and its mission is so important to Carolyn. She wants as many stories of hope shared with as many people as possible. She's got quite a team already helping her do just that.
We had so many people just wanting to help, make sure the magazine gets into their city, make sure it gets into their coffee shops, make sure it gets into the hands of their neighbor. So Journey's been joined by dozens of other humans just really wanting to help. So today we have 2 full-timers, Nikki Curtis, Brenda Briggs, and a part-timer, Peter Rosasco, and Joanna Free, who helps with editorial. So now there's a core group of people, but we also have strategic partners.
So Carolyn actually is one of the first women that I met in recovery. I remember my very first meeting. Her and her husband were at a meeting, and I met her, and I remember hearing her share and thinking she was a woman full of dignity and grace, and had this presence about her, this gentleness, but also strength and ability to communicate very well what she wanted. So along the path of my own recovery, I was continuously put in her path along the way. And at a really dark spot in my own recovery, she's just been this mentor and shaper in my life. And we started at that point. She offered me space to talk to her every day, to give her a call every day for support. And that's what I did, every day for about a year. So our bond was solid. We could talk about life, and we could, be women in recovery together. So when she called me about the magazine, I was absolutely, this is the most amazing idea. And her vision for what we're doing and where we're going is actually pretty remarkable. And I've never doubted her. There's just something when she is expressing that vision and able to articulate it that is truly that it's right, and you want to be on board, and you just want to be part of. So that positivity. And then the other side of it is, it's not always easy in this journey that we've been on with the magazine and stuff like that. And for me, she's the example of how to really work your program through all the ups and downs of life, through all the difficulties, through all the mistakes, the honesty and sharing, the integrity and vulnerability that we really need as humans to be positioned in a way to evolve and to grow and to help others.
When I first got the idea to create a magazine, I reached out into a women's networking group, and I met a woman named Heather Chandler. And Heather, I always say my friend Heather was eco-cool before eco was cool. She's been running the Sunrise Guide for 15 years. She knows this industry. So I brought her to lunch and told her about my idea, and we've been friends ever since. She was really helpful at every stage. She took phone calls where I was crying. She just shared her experience and gave me her opinion on everything, and just really, really kind. Stepping into this industry that I had no experience with.
Carolyn is changing lives every day with this magazine. I think that she has really contributed a lot to the conversation about taking recovery out of the shadows and making it visible. I mean, that's her whole thing, is making recovery visible and promoting hope through the magazine, and she has absolutely done that. I think the lives that she has changed we'll never know all the people that she's touched, but it's really incredible. And I think that she's helped to move that conversation in a very short period of time. And she just came in at the right time, and I don't know.
Aside from publishing the magazine, Carolyn spends most days doing outreach in her community, becoming an essential voice in Maine.
Carolyn and I just met. I've done a lot of work in the community when it comes to raising awareness about substance use disorder and working on preventive efforts to really try to reduce people from either using or helping people get into treatment and hopefully getting into recovery. And Carolyn's been fantastic with really kind of getting that message out there, and Journey Magazine's done that as well.
Carolyn is on the board of directors for my job, and also she has done so much work for my organization in her spare time, and she just really goes above and beyond for her mission, and it's so important, and it really reflects in the magazine. And without Carolyn, Journey wouldn't exist.
The gutsy thing, nobody thought anybody could start a publication like this and do any more than a couple issues, and I think she's on her 4th year.
I think she's an angel. When I think of her story that she shared with us all tonight, and where she's been and how she has risen up from all of that, what a miracle, into she has a purpose here on earth. Of that I'm confident, and I think this is her purpose.
Recently, Carolyn received national recognition at a ceremony in Washington, D.C., which has motivated her to take this dream to the next level.
So my big girl dream with Journey Magazine is to be a national media company with a print presence and local print presence in states, because I think local recovery stories are so important. Local resources are so important. So I want to be a national media company in order to provide opportunities for professional development for people in early recovery, so that they can learn marketable skills in all the areas that are needed for a media company: video production, editorial, circulation, all the things. If you think about a media company and just all the opportunities to create a learning environment for people so that they can be part of something really meaningful that means something to them. So that's my big goal with Journey Magazine. And I think this SBA award, so I just won the SBA award for Small Business Person of the Year for the state of Maine, really was just a step in that direction of potential for Journey.
Your family must be so proud.
They are so proud, yes. Yes, and it's a little freaky. It's a little like, because I had a quiet little life. Nobody knew I was in recovery. And now everybody knows I'm in recovery. And the message that our futures can be bigger than our past, I know they see that. My kids were 4 and 7 when we were at McAuley, and our lives changed course forever.